Hello and welcome to Mask of the Betrayer, and this will be part 10. The last two previous episodes were a bit lore heavy, and I tried to skip past it in my opinion, a very clunky, convoluted way. And to be honest, I wasn't happy with it, so what I have decided to do is, unless whatever's being said by NPCs is incredibly throwaway, which is not going to be the case for a lot of it, I'm just going to go through it and let it take the time it takes, because I think rewatching the episodes, I always rewatch my videos to make sure that editing has been done correctly and that kind of stuff. It was incredibly haphazard and I didn't like it. So I'm going to leave any lore related thing in, and then people can skip it if they're not happy with it or bored with it or not interested in it. But because of all the lore, of course, we didn't have an awful lot of action, but there's very little chance that we won't have action here, because we are going to go outside in Shadow Mulsantir, which I was mentioning last time. So let's head outside. I will pause every single time I do something not important because of that meter, as I've mentioned. So it's always nice when the game also saves. Whatever. As you can see, this looks slightly different. I mean, obviously it's grey on grey.
This place resembles Mulsantir, yet everything seems muted somehow.
We got a clever one here. As I was saying, there will be certain doors that are open that wasn't open before. I don't want to exit. No, quite right. So there's an interesting little door here. Map note added. Where? I failed to see it, but whatever. Let's head inside this place. Can probably close the map. I do enjoy having the map around here. So, unfurled scroll. Oh, interesting. The scroll contains a detailed list of names with mortifying details of gruesome deaths next to them. There appears to be a crude stick figure drawings. Well, there appears to be crude stick figure drawings enveloping most of the parchment. These drawings seem to show in great detail some of the deaths listed next to the names. Some of the key names appear to be heavily underlined, but one entry really stands out from the rest. Barrowin, he is the root of the pain I feel, and I will exact my vengeance on him first. I will slowly bleed him. No, I will smash his face with. No, I will yank out his. This seems to go on for quite some time. Okay, I think we can assume that someone wasn't quite happy. Corpse. You see a desiccated shell that was once a man. Come back later. Why did I have the option to smash his face? I don't know. That's night. Must watch master. Aha. Open book. This tome, which is adorned with small animal bones over its leathery surface, seems to discuss many of the necromantic rituals. You see 3 entries which appear to be marked for further use. The first entry describes how to prepare a vessel for use as something called a phylactery. Apparently, a phylactery is used to house a soul for eternity. These phylacteries can be used in a rite to cheat death and live forever. Should probably pause it, by the way. The second entry describes in great detail which ritual that was referred to in the first marked entry. This ceremony appears very complicated, and it stresses that only the most accomplished spellcasters should even consider replicating it. Surprisingly, the third entry describes a way to free a soul trapped in a phylactery. Not surprising, this requires the destruction of the phylactery. Destroying the phylactery will allow the natural order to take its course and the soul move beyond to its final resting place. This is someone who's obviously trying to become a lich. And we have three options. Or we have two options. Either let him go through with it or not. So, can we do anything here? Let's see. Blah blah blah. Use the alternate ritual found in the Book of Necromancy lore to release this man's soul from the phylactery. Wait, I'm familiar with rituals that are similar to this one. Do you truly want to attempt this alone? No, I'd rather you complete the ritual if you're willing. Freeing his soul from the phylactery shouldn't be dangerous. This will only take a moment. So, the two Death Knight decided that it was time to leave. So, okay. Didn't my charm up opening do anything? Can we try again, please? There's a book. Nothing interesting, I think. Why can't I open that door? I was about to say that chest. Sure, it must be possible. There's a door leading nowhere. Unless, of course, the remains amulet. Talisman of pure good. Cute. You can't summon your familiar, can you? Scribes go, summon familiar, you can.
Yes.
Can you open this chest for me, please? Maybe? Success not possible.
I believe so.
Yeah, well. We'll take it as it is. I'm the talisman of pure good. These holy talismans border on the power of artifacts. Only a good creature may wear one, and even the most beatific finds his soul challenged and refined, as the device makes him more and more righteous with every passing day. Examples of these items appear in many different forms, suggesting multiple creators at different points in history. They are unfortunately very rare. Well, Charisma 3, Wisdom 3, Spell Resistance 12. What have we got? Amulet of the Master. Spell Resistance 16. I wonder if I had to gain much charisma bonus from that. I mean, the wisdom could be nice. Let's see, this is an evaluation. Diplomacy is nice to have. The others are useless. Okay, what magic resistance do we have? Have we got higher than 16? No, 16. So it comes from that. We'll replace that with 12. Let's see how it looks if we do this. Just curious. We do gain the wisdom, but we do not gain the charisma, because we got a higher single item. That makes it useless, because wisdom is not important. Had it been... If we played a monk instead, it would have been much more important. Talisman of pure good. Well, we might bump into someone who may find a use for it. Anyway, yeah. I promised some action, and as soon as we cross into the main town, We are going to get some action. Or the main bit of the town, I should say. Ta-da! Nightwalker. Cool. Where are you? Oh, guard in the temple. Interesting.
Extra boss.
Lei me vokrain.
I'm blind. Yeah, sure, but I got. Could you attack? Got blind fighting, mate. There's no reason that you won't attack.
Let's have at it. Time for a bit of the game. Let's have at it. Time for a bit of the game.
Okay, I think it's time to use a heal potion. Someone who's got night fighting, I was about to say, night fighting, blind fighting, should be able to fight vertically as if they were blind. That's the whole point of the... Can... Why is this going so incredibly wrong? This is rather interesting, isn't it? Can we, try again?
Lei me vokrain.
Aha, they don't care about holy damage. I was about to say divine damage, this is always nice, I suppose. Yeah, I'm keeping a certain eye on Scouters to hit, because he seems to roll incredibly low at times. I'll never stop moaning about that. So, seems to be some enemies missing, to be honest. Don't know if we can, so can we? I don't think we can. I don't think we can rest here. Sorry about that, just had to readjust my seating. I know I complain quite a bit about feats, but seriously, the whole definition of blind fighting. Where is it? You should get blind fighting, or blind fight, I think it's called, as don't tell me I haven't got it. That would be rather odd. This feat grants the character the ability to fight well even if blinded or against invisible creatures. That is the description of the feat, and I was not allowed to attack them. This is something this game doesn't do very well. You mainly pick it up when you know you're going to be facing a lot of rogues, because of course that removes their dexterity bonus when they're stealth. They get a dexterity bonus to hit when they are when their target is unaware of them. But because of blind fight, you nullify that bonus. That's the whole point of taking blind fight in the first place. But the game doesn't do it very well. It's a bit like getting paralyzed when you're immune to paralyzation. I'm fairly sure I've mentioned before that this game is not exactly the most, shall we say, well-programmed game ever. The scripting is horrifically bad. But I do find the game enjoyable. When it works, which is not necessarily saying much. So... it's one reason I'm always very, very apprehensive about if you save this game after a bug has occurred, there's a good chance that you have broken the scripting. But you may not know that you have broken the scripting even. So that means that 2-3 hours, days down the line, you bump into a bug that was caused by you saving a scripting error earlier. It's not particularly nice. So, that God's vote. Oh, check out a trap, apparently. Let's head inside. Sounds like a lovely little place. We need to see if we can rest here. Apparently not. The problem is when you have these, okay. Not bad, smite good, 77. Yeah. Some interesting hit rolls, but whatever. I will not carry on and complain about that. Come on, Oko. I trust in you. Well, if this goes wrong one more time, we are boned. Cannot afford this. By the way, please notice that we're using Scythe. We're done. We got 65 spirit energy. Yeah, well, we'll have to work around that. A Scythe is doing normal damage, and they got a critical hit chance of 20. You need an actual 20 to crit with it. Unless, of course, you got improved crit, which you likely have if you're level God knows how high Death Knight. But what makes size very, very unique is the fact that normally you will have a weapon that will do double damage on a critical hit. A scythe does 4 times damage.
There are few who would brave the tattered black gates that tie this shadow Mulsantir to its twin. Yet you have come, brave or not. What is your reason for coming here? Has something called you to this place?
Critical hits from a scythe is incredibly dangerous, and that's why it can be fun making a scythe-wielding smite, I think it's called Paladin. We just keep taking smite evil until you can't take it anymore, and anything that's evil you get a crit on with smite evil will be obliterated basically. Are you Kaelin the Dove? Your siblings has been looking for you.
That does not surprise me. My siblings are loyal and often quite persistent. No doubt it was Ephraim or Souza who you met. Possibly both. I have been cut off from the menagerie for some time, and it seems they have not given up the hunt. But it would be unlike them to surrender such a hunt, especially for their sister. I am Kaelin, formerly of the House of the Triad. My spirit now lies within the House of Ilmater.
Ilmater is the god of martyrs and suffering, correct?
You know his name and his acts, then. He calls us all, and comforts the wounded. Even in this place, I can feel his presence, and it grants me the strength to continue on.
What brings a priest of Ilmater to the Shadow Plane?
I seek entrance to the depths of this vault. The next stage of my pilgrimage lies there, and this gate before me is but another obstacle placed in my path.
Do you know how to open the gate?
I have stood before this door and studied its surface for days countless, and let my eyes fall upon black, the thin etchings of its surface. If you relax your eyes to the shadow, you see the true depths of the artistry of these mosaics, some written in ash, others in shale, slate, and dyed tile black. Within these shades is a key, and once unlocked, the path will continue on.
If you're standing here, it seems the gate already gotten the upper hand.
That would imply I have admitted defeat. I have not. This gate will open. I merely need to find the means to unlock it.
Yes. I was worried there was going to be a smart-assy comment. How did you get to the Shadow Plane?
I have spent most of my life traveling the plains. Even so, it took me a long time to sense the ebb and flow of the portals in Mulsantir. With enough concentration, I was able to bridge them, although, judging from your strength, it was more difficult for me than for you.
Are the portals in the Shadow Plane affected by time like the ones in Mulsantir?
That is a good question. I know the ones in Mulsantir unveil themselves at night. If so, the darkness of the Shadow Plane should leave the portals to Mulsantir always open, but that is merely a guess. Although, since the flow of streets and even potential obstructions in Mulsantir may not be here, there may be more portals here than were evident in Mulsantir. I have not explored enough to say. But again, what I offer are guesses only. Do not take my words as truth unless you have a chance to test the portals yourself.
Have you noticed anything else while you've been here?
Most of my time has been spent reaching this place, but I have seen fires in the distance here in the Shadow Plane, but I do not know who else is here. I spotted them down by the ferry. I suspect they may be visitors like us. The native creatures I have encountered have little use for flame.
Why would anyone come here from the realms?
I think the two of us may not be the ones best suited to ask such a question, as we both came here with purposes of our own. As for others, seclusion is one reason. The Shadow Plane is a place to hide secrets, close but beyond the reach of most thieves or watchers. Evil things may transpire here, far from the eyes of others.
Hmm. How did you fight your way past all those creatures?
It was actually easier to go forward than retreat, so do not think me brave. Many were the shadows that I fought on my way here, and as I explored this place, they arose anew from the darkness. I suspect that with the passage of time, even the opponents you faced on the way here may arise again to face you.
Baseball mechanic. Oh. You'll need to be careful, move quickly through this place then.
I believe they returned within a day's cycle. It may have been less. Time is difficult to track within this plane.
This structure is more massive than the one in Mulsantir.
It is. Unlike the other structures, it is not a shadow of Mulsantir. It was purposely built on the shadow plane by priests of Merkel.
Merkel, but the structure in Mulsantir is the Temple of Kellamore.
Even the roles of gods and their priests can change in time. Merkel was once god of the dead, and then Kellamvor took up that role. But Merkel's creations still remain.
Why did the priests of Merkel build it here?
This place was chosen for its secrecy. Few can travel here as they would in the realms, and even once here, fewer can survive its inhabitants. Its purpose was a library and a prison. The priests of Merkel used it to store valuable artifacts and relics. They also imprisoned enemies of the faith here, ones they needed to keep in shadow and silence.
What did they do with them?
For those who needed to be silenced forever, or had simply passed on to the City of Judgment, a crematorium was also said to lie within these walls. Merkel had many enemies, both within his temples and without. Many died in Merkel's name with no one to hear their last words, with no one to help ease their suffering.
How much of the structure have you explored?
Beyond the Great Hall? Not far. Many of Merkel's priests remain in the antechambers. I did not wish to reveal myself to them until I had finished my studies of the gate to the level below. Still, I suspect I will only find what I seek in the side chambers, where the priests still carry out Merkel's rituals.
I thought this place was abandoned.
The disciples of Merkel remain, but they are mummified now. They are difficult opponents, but perhaps together we may best them. I can lend my powers to yours if you wish.
Would you consider traveling with us? Perhaps we could help you.
I would welcome company. My watch here has been a silent one. Still, my purpose is here. I must find a way to the lower vault. No matter what I try, this gate blocks my efforts. I can find no key, no means of opening it. I do not know what more to do.
Perhaps celestial blood will open the gate. No. Diplomacy. If we join together, Kaelin, we might be able to achieve a greater goal than if we were apart.
I would welcome such help. I have traveled alone for too long from my brothers and sisters. Perhaps you were called here, just as I was. If so, perhaps the plains have need of us. But you are traveling with a large group already. Do you wish someone to leave so I might take their place?
Gan, you should return to the Vale.
All right then. I shall enjoy the rest.
Very well, I am ready.
Kaelin is a cleric and is capable of casting powerful healing spells. Her cleric ability also makes her very useful when battling undead, and her half-celestial heritage grants her a number of unique racial feats, such as immunity to disease and damage reduction versus non-magical weapons. Well, we got Kaelin in the party. I know I screwed up. I could have reloaded to save those 6 points of influence, but it is what it is. I'm not going to save scum because of that. I can probably find ways to compensate. Garn doesn't believe in the whole God's good versus evil kind of thing, which is why thematically I let him leave. I do want to have Oku as the tank because he's very, very durable. But beyond that, Having a cleric in an area filled with undead might not be such a bad idea. But this part is running a bit longer than I necessarily wanted to. I am aiming for 25 minutes, as much as I can. So I will end this part here, and when we come back, we're going to have a chat with Galen. And then move on and see what we can do in this place. I am not overly keen on the fact that my spirit energy is at 65, but we might be able to find a way to get around that. So, as for now, thanks for watching, take care, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.